A word for you single folks. You know, Boaz and Ruth waited for her Boaz. She wouldn't just settle for anybody. The Bible said Boaz was a handsome man, a rich man, a spiritual man, a sensitive man, and that equals a husband. You gotta wait. You gotta wait on your Boaz. Don't just settle. But if you're not careful, when you go left and it's Friday night and you don't have a date and you're freaking out. I don't have a date. I didn't get married until I was 25. And you know, I just made a decision. I knew there was a call on my life, and I just said, I'm not gonna go out and date just anybody and everybody. Because I know me. So I can remember, Pastor Hagee, I used to get ready and get all dressed up on Friday night to see what I would look like if I did have a date. You know, if you're a half a person and you keep going left and you're so needy, you just take anything. I'll take him, I'll take her. You're going to keep attracting half people. But if you'll stay out there and get comfortable being with yourself and with God, you'll attract a whole person. Don't despise left. God's using left to get you right. Don't freak out because it's Friday night and you're in Saturday night and you're in church instead of the club. Boaz has some relatives, and if you don't watch it, you won't get the one God has for you. You'll get his relatives. To the girls, I found this on the internet. Boaz is spelled B-O-A-Z. Everybody say B-O-A-Z. And so he's got some relatives called broke-ass, po-ass, lying-ass, cheating-ass, dumb-ass, drunk-ass. Don't go out with him. Cheap-ass. Turn to somebody and say, I dated him. Locked up ass, good for nothing ass, lazy ass, and especially his third cousin beating your ass. Wait on your Boaz and make sure he respects your ass. Now there's your word. You wanted a word, you got a word. Quit dating anything on two legs. Let God take you through some loneliness. Let God take you through the wilderness, so that when they come, you'll be ready. I'm not even going to look back at Pastor Hagee. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not, he asked me to come. That's his problem. I feel him.
How you doing? I wanted to do something. I want to do a few of these teachings on dating. And are you dating a Boaz or the other word? Are you dating a Boaz or a, okay. Many women and Christian women, they're dating, but they're dating not from a spiritual point of view. They're not looking for a man. Why do you keep missing your Boaz? Because you keep looking for things from your childhood, things you saw. If you grew up in an abusive home, all these things affect who you look for in a relationship. And so many women are not attracted to Boaz if he comes. You're looking for the thug. You're looking for the street guy. You're looking for the guy that is more hardcore because it's a side of you, your flesh, that desires what is unclean and what will not work. And so dating in reality is spiritual, and you must date the person that you believe can help you grow spiritually and can be one with you spiritually.
We love to talk about Ruth getting her Boaz, but we often skip over the part that Ruth had to leave what she knew. She had to leave what was familiar with her in order to be in the right position to receive her Boaz. Some of us have to leave a certain place so we can discover our purpose. We have to leave certain people behind so that we can be in position to receive the people that we are supposed to be in contact with, in connection with. This year, let it go. Leave it alone.
Boaz. And I just want to talk about it. Women idolize Boaz, the character, and they want a man like him. But here's the thought. I don't think y'all are reading the fine print. There we go. Boaz was the redeemer. Well, redemption don't come without something preceding it. I think that women should be very careful about saying that they want a Boaz, because that means that you want to experience barrenness. That means you want to wander in a wilderness. That means that you're saying that you have the character enough to take care of your bitter mother-in-law. Women have put Boaz on this pedestal. I don't think you really understand what you're asking for.
You thought you would have been married by now, but God has different plans for you. There might be times when you question God. What's taking so long? Like, what else do you need to do? How many more fasting? How many more times do you have to pray? Because it is important to go through self-reflection, to ask God if you need to do something different. I empathize with you, but let me say this. Sometimes it's not about what you can do differently. It's about your location. For example, Ruth and Naomi was in the land of Moab, but God, blessings and favors was in a different city. Similarly, your blessings, the wife or the husband that God has for you, might be in a different location or country. And God is working some things out to put you in position.
Good morning, family. It's Mr. Food for Thought. This video is dedicated to all my single people, particularly my females. Where is your Boaz? Yeah. So when you read the story of Ruth and Boaz, Ruth had a mother-in-law by the name of Naomi, who was married and had 2 sons, and both her sons was married. And Ruth happened to be married to one of her sons. And Naomi lost her husband. He died. Shortly after he died, her 2 sons died. And she grieved. And she told her 2 daughter-in-laws to go back home to their mother. But Ruth loved her mother-in-law. And Ruth told her mother-in-law, where you go, I go. And where you die, I die. She would not leave her mother-in-law. So they leave the city that they were in. They go to Bethlehem. That's where she meets Boaz. So Ruth is in the field working. And Boaz inquires about this woman that's in the field working. They tell Boaz that's Ruth. Now Boaz had already heard about Ruth. He heard how that Ruth's mother-in-law lost her husband and her 2 sons, and Ruth refused to leave her mother-in-law. So he eventually go gets Ruth, bring her back to his home, and they eventually get married. There's 2 things I want you to consider. Number 1, the story does not state that when Boaz saw Ruth, he was attracted to her physically. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that he was interested in Boaz or Ruth because she had long, silky hair. It doesn't say that. But what it does say is this. He inquired about Ruth because he saw that Ruth had a selfless disposition, meaning that Ruth could have went back home to her mother. But instead, she saw the grief that her mother-in-law was going through. Even though both of them were grieving, her mother-in-law had more grief because her mother-in-law lost her husband and her 2 sons. She just lost her husband. So she said, I'm not going anywhere. Boaz saw that. So that was attractive to Boaz, her selfless nature. And number 2, when Boaz came across Ruth, she was working with her hands. So Boaz saw that Ruth would do whatever it took to provide. But more importantly, Ruth had a selfless disposition. And he married Ruth. So watch this. When you meet a real man is not interested in how much money you make. A real man is not so much interested in how you look, even though that's a small portion of it. A real man is just like Boaz. Boaz was more interested in how Ruth looked on the inside and not the outside. Yeah. See, the outside is what attracts us, but it's the inside that what keeps us. Yeah. That's what attracted Boaz to Ruth. It was the inside. She had a selfless nature. Now, why is that so significant? Because see, what destroys relationships is selfishness, not selflessness. Yeah. So that's what Boaz was looking for, and that's what most real men are looking for. The outside attracts us, but it's the inside that will keep us. So sometimes we are not waiting on our Boaz. Maybe our Boaz is waiting to see someone with a selfish disposition and someone willing to do whatever it takes to make the relationship work. So maybe our Boaz is waiting on us.